Today I fucked up by leaving my Reddit account logged in on the shared work computer and allowing my smarter and more handsome colleague to post whatever he wants. Not too much to say, really. My girlfriend came to visit and I guess I got distracted. My colleague, who is, as mentioned in title, much smarter and more handsome than I am, seized this opportunity with gusto. He realized the shared computer was already logged into Reddit and immediately checked the username. Justify 989, you have fucked up. Immediately he knew where he should post first. Unfortunately, I am a lesser man and not subscribed to r/today I fucked up, so he must have had to navigate here before beginning his tirade. How he must have cackled, laughing at my puny karma score. Nearly 5 years on Reddit and all I've amassed is 485 measly internet points. I imagine he must have checked all my posts and perhaps even read some of my comments. I started to worry. Wait! Exclamation mark, have I posted anything embarrassing? As soon as this thought occurred to me I, of course, went to check my comment history, hoping I hadn't commented on anything in r/furry__earl. It was then that I began to wonder what else he may have done to my account while I was gone. Upon inspection, I found that he had subscribed to several subreddits I never would have subbed to. Who knew that r/sounding is a thing? NSFW warning. Now I must begin the process of cleaning up my account. Perhaps I'll simply discard it and start fresh. I just can't believe that I was dumb enough to let this happen while I was sitting in the next room. Pray for me, Reddit. I've been bested by a better man. Too long didn't read, left my account signed in, colleague messed with me. Update, my shift is over now so I'm headed out. Op called me a few minutes ago to say well played. When he started getting notifications on his phone from r/gear4r. I feel I've done good work this night. Update 2, the first update and the post itself was made by my colleague, not the owner of the account. I see a few people are upset by the post that was made in r/gear4r, but I assure you it was not made with any malicious intent nor was it made by me. Huge thanks to all the people who have given awards BTW. I will make sure my colleague is provided with the satisfaction of knowing they did good. WTF are those people doing with their urethras? I got a UTI viewing this and my dick retreated inside of me like a turtle that has been smacked on its head. This colleague of yours seems to be a man of great learning and sophistication. At first I really thought this was going to be about how the colleague was about to steal Op's girl. But I guess she isn't attracted to smarter, more handsome people. Good for Op, she's a keeper. You know, I heard of sounding but couldn't remember where. So I clicked on the subreddit. Why the fuck do I always click the links? Edit, if you degenerates want to see some shit, go to r/guru. That shit fucked up my day a couple weeks ago. Maybe it's not that bad. No, I'll regret it if I do. Update, FML. Windows L every time you leave your desk. She recommended buying clove oil and rubbing it on my pink starfish. Update, this fuck up has been set up perfectly for disaster over the past few months and is continuing to destroy my life. This is a long one, but every detail counts in portraying one of the worst weeks of my life. Let me preface this by saying I love my cat more than anything, and while he is currently not sleeping anywhere near me, he's still getting a lot of cautious love. I can't imagine being self-isolated alone without him right now. Truly, I love him too much. Too much love got us here today. In January, I adopted an 11-year-old, 19 pounds chonker. I fell in love instantly. His last family returned him after 6 months with a bad case of fleas. He had been deflared but came home with a slew of other health issues. By end of January, after a lot of vet visits, he seemed to be on the mend. I knew what I was signing up for when I adopted a senior cat, but just didn't realize the endless possibilities. Truly, I tell him every night before bed he's my ride or die, and that's about to be tested with this saga of the greatest love story ever told. By February, he starts coughing and stops pooping in his litter box. Despite me cleaning it daily, he's still peeing in there, but seems cautious and runs out immediately. Even when he started pooping on the floor, thank God for wood floors, he'd run under my bed from it. That was the only time he'd go under my bed, otherwise he was cuddled up on or next to me. His medical chart from when I adopted him said he had issues with litter box pooping. They suspected he was afraid of his last family's other cat and it was behavioral, but something didn't add up. He was fine with pooping in the litter box for the first month after his kitty Enema cleaned up his poop every other day and saw nothing out of the ordinary. He was starting to lose weight, which was good because as cute of a chonker as he is, it's not healthy, folks. I stopped free feeding him, started feeding him scheduled wet food meals, and we had daily playtime to get him to a healthy weight. I bring him into the vet in February for the 6th time in a month and a half. He had half of his teeth removed before I adopted him. This resulted in an incision infection and an enema due to a PIAD constipation. This visit was for his cough. I even asked if he could have worms. The vet tells me, "I know you're trying to be a good pet owner, but he likely has allergies and it's a behavioral issue. This might be something he has to live with. Come see me if his mucus turns brown." I had been right about every single drive Google diagnosis up until this point, but whatever. Buy an air purifier, vacuum and clean regularly, change the bedding weekly. I already have an obsessive cleaning schedule, and COVID/quarantine has only allowed at the time to thrive. Ask any of my previous roommates and I am the cleanest person you'll ever live with. Despite the cleaning, some coughing days were better than others. All of a sudden end of last week, he starts coughing a lot less, and I start feeling like absolute shit. My best friend even makes a joke that I caught whatever my cat had. Sick foreshadowing. When I read the article about the tiger in the Bronx catching COVID-19, I was convinced we both had it. My chest was tight, frequent bathroom runs, just pure exhaustion, losing weight rapidly despite being quarantined for a month in a tiny studio, malnourished to the point my hair is falling out. I'm a mess. I guess it's a good thing I got laid off 2 weeks ago, because the bathroom and I are very close friends these days. I wake up Monday morning to the pungent smell of my cat's usual poop surprise on the wood floor. He's such a kind cat to poop where it's easy clean up. That's when I see them, worms crawling around everywhere. I'm gagging, take a little sample for the vet, and flush the rest. I drive Google the shit out of it and it is for sure tapeworms. Then I read about the eggs. Let me remind you, I change my sheets and wash my duvet cover weekly. I make my bed the second I get out of it and even vacuum my duvet cover. I run to inspect my bed. There are eggs everywhere. Little rice demons of hell that have been dropping from my poor cat's bum for 3 months. I'm dry heaving at this point. I live in an old studio apartment and my bed is against a brick wall, so I get little grout crumble patches that I have to vacuum up pretty regularly. I remember feeling little patches of what I assumed one night was grout in my sheets, but fell asleep wine drunk and ignored it. When I tell you they were everywhere, I mean they were everywhere. My pillow, under my pillow, my cat and I fall asleep cuddling every night. Again, I love this cat too damn much. I call the vet and it is undoubtedly tapeworm. We suspect he's had it since I adopted him. His prescription gets to me within a few hours. I also get flea medication and spray. I check him for flea dirt regularly and hadn't seen anything, but better to be cautious. I bag all of my bedding, throw out half of what I own, vacuum every inch of this place for an hour. I'm on the fucking floor with my flashlight and find a dead tapeworm under my couch. Swiffer, disinfect my couch, flip my mattress like total mental breakdown. I give him his medication and his cough stops instantly. He hasn't coughed once since Monday. This has been one of my childhood phobias since I read that urban legend about the guy who starved himself, then put a burger patty on his tongue and lured the tapeworm out until he could grab it from his mouth. I'm thinking about this story after giving my cat his meds when holy moly diarrhea. I look in the toilet bowl to 3 long strings floating on the sides that normally I would have flushed to sewage heaven without second thought, but they are undoubtedly tapeworms. My grown ass calls my mom and sobs while still sitting on the toilet in all of my wormy glory. I call and embarrassingly show the doctor. Doctor undoubtedly tells me I too have tapeworm and writes me a prescription. He asks me if I want just tapeworm or a full deworming. I'm like, WTF does that mean? He's like, you'd be surprised how many parasites are living in you regularly. Just wait and see what you're about to poop out. Honestly, just want to die at this point. My cat and I are prescribed the same medication, obviously just different doses and different price tags. His was $13 for 2 doses. Mine? $130 for 1 dose, 2 pills. That's with my last month of insurance from my previous employer. I immediately receive a text that my prescription is on back order because of COVID. I'm trying to fall asleep that night on my couch without any blankets. When would you fucking guess it, my heat stops working. So now I'm just shivering on a small ass couch knowing there's worms crawling around inside of me and eggs everywhere. I don't sleep. I call the pharmacy when they open in tears asking when my meds are going to get there. Lucky me, they had just arrived. He asks me, did you know your prescription is $130? I'm like, I know I've never had tapeworm, but I guess the price is irrelevant. We both nervously laugh. I also haven't had an in-person human interaction in a month because I've been self-isolating alone and laid off due to COVID, so this is trying on so many levels. I order delivery for a big-ass meal from my favorite restaurant because 1. I have no appetite because the thought of feeding the worms makes me want to die, and I was hoping ordering from my favorite restaurant would entice me to eat. 2. Medication has to be taken with food. 3. I realize this is the last day the calories don't matter. Might as well enjoy it. I pick up my prescription, light a candle, call my best friend, we have a little virtual funeral for my worms and try to make light of the situation. I play the song I want played at my funeral, Hamburg song by Keen, it's Bo today I fucked up. But it just keeps getting worse, y'all. My best friend hesitantly tells me he was telling his physical therapist about my worm saga. She recommended buying clove oil and rubbing it on my pink starfish. I'm like, why? Apparently worms like to bite your butt on the way out, and clove oil prevents that. I hate everything at this moment. It's like the different levels of hell. I take the pills and am reading the prescription pamphlet. It notes that you'll experience random aches and pains while the worms are dying. Let me tell you, I felt every fucking worm dying as I lay blanketless on my couch in the fetal position. All of a sudden, I'm thinking about the worms and I can't breathe. My throat is kind of itchy, and I'm thinking there are worms dying in my tonsils at this point, or I got COVID at the pharmacy. I'm laying there in the fetal position, telling myself it's just a panic attack. My cat decides to go pee at 2 a.m. Jumps out startled, trailing pee all over the apartment. No, the medication says limit your alcoholic beverages, but I say fuck it and make a drink. I clean the pee and finally fall asleep for about 3 hours. I wake up bright and early to the smell of cat poop. Still half asleep, I searched his normal spots and couldn't find any poops. He left it in the tub for me, a new spot, thanks, cat. Easy cleanup and no worms, I take it as a win. I flush it down the toilet, bleach the tub, and obsessively wash my hands. Let me tell you, my hands are bleeding from the amount of times I washed them between COVID and Wormageddon. I look at myself in the mirror while scrubbing my raw hands and holy shit, my face is swollen to the point I'm still surprised I can see out of my eyes. My tongue is flopping all over the place. I am having a severe allergic reaction to the tapeworm medication. That panic attack while falling asleep was actually an allergic reaction. I immediately video chat my doctor. He tells me to go get Benadryl immediately and writes me a steroid prescription. I get a call from their finance department on the brief walk to the pharmacy, $140 for that 5-minute virtual visit. I try to dispute the charge, she can't do anything. Just flat out ask her, can I just tell you about my shitty life then for $140? We talk for 5 minutes about how much my life sucks and she agrees. She was very nice about it, but still $140. She basically tells me that if I had waited a month to get tapeworm and almost die from the medication, the virtual visit would have been cheaper without insurance. Fucking love it and American healthcare. I cut my losses, go back to the same pharmacy from the day before, and they ask me what's wrong. Lift up my glasses and they were like, "Off, did you know you were allergic to this medication?" At this point, I'm like, why do any of you think I've had tapeworms before? Truly, complete mental breakdown. I buy my medication, a box of wine, and $20 worth of candy to ease the pain. So folks, here I am, unemployed and alone during a pandemic, clenching my butt like never before, still haven't pooped because I'm terrified of worm kisses on the way out, face still swollen shut, but I'm breathing fine. My cat is a new cat, so for that, I am grateful. I am 100% sure I will have PTSD from this experience. It is going to be a long, long time before my cat and I snuggle regularly again, but I know we'll get there and I still love him. Adopt senior pets regardless of this story, because 10/10ths would still get worms again for him. Wormageddon 2020 will not soon be forgotten. Too long didn't read. My recently adopted cat gave us both tapeworm. I almost died from the meds, and this is my hell. Edit, I'll come back and give more meaningful update, but I'm reading all of these comments over the phone, basking in the worst kind of Reddit fame with my best friend, and his smartass says, your tapeworm is going to come out of your butt and ask do you know who I am? But really, y'all are too kind. You'd be surprised how many parasites are living in you regularly. Now everyone reading is paranoid that they may have parasites as well. Thanks op. Jesus Christ. This story wasn't an emotional roller coaster, it was a drop kick out of a plane and you're not sure your parachute is properly packed. Op says, this is a long one in a post about tapeworms. Whatever you do, make sure you do not put undiluted clove oil on your bunghole. It will cause chemical burn blisters, adding greatly to your unfortunate and uncomfortable situation and possibly trigger more anxiety on whether it is a bite or a hemorrhoid or something new. Try a salty sitz bath to warm up and purify the exodus path. Feel better, you and your catto will be okay. I decided against the clove oil and have opted for never having a bowel movement again. Kidding, I decided against it because I honest to God cannot spend another penny on this mess, but thank you for the warning and well wishes. Firstly, I am so sorry for everything that has happened to you. However, secondly, what a good read. That was exceedingly entertaining, even though I felt awful for the human being that had to endure this. Take care, cuddle your kitty, and enjoy your box of wine. Thank you. I've always had a sick sense of humor and ability to laugh through the worst, but this is really sickening. Can't wait to be able to cuddle Kitty again once we're both fully dewormed. Stay healthy, social distance, and avoid little pieces of rice in your bed. Okay, this is rightfully horrifying, and I am so sorry you're going through this right now. Frown, stay hydrated with water or Gatorade as much as you can, it'll help your body out more than alcohol. Thank you for the reminder. I put the wine away and grabbed a bottle of water. Smile. Today I fucked up, I flashed my tits to my favorite teacher on a video call. Please, I beg you before you start commenting about why I was topless in my house, please read the edit I added please. Dear edit, today I fucked up big time. Today I fucked up so bad that I had to make a new email so I could create a new Reddit account because I never want this to ever come back to me. For context, my dad was hired to work an IT job at the school I attend around 2 years ago. For reference, I am a third-year college student, and while he was doing this job he became friends with some of the other IT people, and through this he has been invited to go to a club where they listen to music and appreciate it. Some of my teachers are in this club, especially one my favorite teacher. Horrifying, I know. Due to the current coronavirus pandemic, they have moved their meetings online through video calls. Here is where the fuck up begins. To join these calls my dad uses the family computer in the living room. For reference, my room is adjacent to the living room, and if my door is open I can directly see the computer from my doorway. Last night I was hanging out in my room wearing headphones and watching some Netflix while playing Animal Crossing. What else is there to do in the literal apocalypse? As I am playing I spill some salsa on my white shirt, meaning if I want to salvage the shirt I have to soak it immediately, so I get off my bed and take off my shirt, and as this is quarantine I am not wearing a bra. Why I took off my shirt before I left my room I don't know. Here is where the fuck up begins. The stars must have lined up for this to happen because 1. I did not know my dad was attending this video conference. 2. My dad had left the living room to go to the bathroom. 3. And I am in clear view of the video camera on the family computer in the living room. and didn't think about it at all. So, I leave my room titties out and all and walk to the laundry room to get the stain out of my shirt. Done easy, no problem. As I walk back to my room I get a craving for some soda and decide to go get one. The kitchen is adjacent to the living room, right next to the family computer. I walk by the computer and into the kitchen, open the fridge, and behind me I hear op, and I immediately recognize my teacher's voice. I stop dead in my tracks. You know that feeling when your stomach drops and your entire body just freezes? That. I panic. I was so shocked and I was just putting 2 and 2 together and just go no and drop to the floor, and sit on the floor, my back against the kitchen island with my knees to my chest, and I have no idea what to. There is no way I can get back into my room without going past the camera. Luckily my dad came to the rescue and came back to the room shortly after, and this was the conversation that followed. FT, favorite teacher. Dad, my dad. Me. FT, hey, I believe your daughter might be in hiding. You might want to hang up so she can safely return to her room. Dad, op, you there? He can't see me because of how I am sitting. Me. Yes. Dad, do I want to know? Me. No. Dad, should I disconnect from the call? Me. Yes. Can you also close your eyes until I tell you to open them? Dad, very confused at this point. Okay. My dad proceeds to turn off his camera and tells me I can leave. I then fled the scene, locked my door and immediately put on a shirt. I called out for my dad that it was safe, and a few minutes later I could hear him laugh with everyone in the call. We have yet to discuss this. If you made it this far I applaud you. However, for personal reasons, I will now be passing away. Thank you. Too long didn't read. I accidentally made porn for my teacher. Edit, for those asking why I was not wearing a bra when at home with my family. 1. I've been at college for so long and just got home after my school shut, it's a habit. 2. My favorite shirt had a stain. I wasn't thinking, I just wanted to get the stain out as quick as possible to save my shirt. 3. We all just usually keep to our rooms. None of us really use the living room unless we are all together, especially not around 11 PM on a Friday evening. I'm an only child and my parents usually go to bed around 8. 2. Thank you for awards, kind internet strangers. Also to everyone asking if my teacher is hot, he is fairly good looking, however married and gay. I am also a lesbian, so I doubt anything will ever happen. If it makes you feel any better, you're not the first person to screw up like that, and eventually the pain will fade and it'll turn into a really funny story to tell. Here's mine. Back in the dark ages, when cameras were still a new and novel thing on phones, I thought it would be a great idea to send my then partner a pic of just my tits. Accidentally sent it to both my parents. I've barely spoken to my dad since then. My mom said they're lovely dear, and I never took a nude photo again. They're lovely dear, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. So, did you manage to save the shirt? Wow, thanks humans. I did. Thank you for caring about my shirt. So there I was, barbecue sauce on my titties. What I am more ashamed about, the fuck up or the fact that I didn't reference this. I don't wear a bra unless I'm leaving the house. I never wear a bra. I'm also a man, which makes it way less interesting. Not as bad as the girl who took a shit while on a video call, haha.